Hello and welcome to the card rundown for Apex League Wrestling number 33. Before we get into this week's action, let's see what we got coming up. Some exciting things. First, we have the Manager Invitational. This is a 16-person tournament, which makes it the largest in ALW history. The tournament will be across 3 tournament-specific shows, so it's not going to interfere with any of my Apex League Wrestling, number 33, 34, 35, any of those. They won't be affected. These will be kind of in their own separate shows. It will have 12 randoms from the roster, so people we've seen before, and 4 in-game randos. I don't have like the biggest Fire Pro roster that I could have. I have I think it's under 1,000, just under 1,000, like 900 some. So could be any of those people. And the brackets will be fully randomized. So we could get some heavy hitters in round 1. We could get two total jobbers against each other. We are at the whims of the rando. And the winner will get a manager for 1 year. So until the next manager invitational. I don't know how powerful managers are in Fire Pro. Let's find out. And if you're wondering, hey, what's the bracket going to look like? Well, here we go. You can see the dates at the top correspond. So round 1, you can see on both sides. Round 1, that'll be January 14th, all in one show. Then we have January 21st, that's the second round, and then the semifinals and the finals will be in one show. We have Rick Steiner taking on Satoshi Kojima. Rick Steiner is debuting. He was one of the in-game randoms. Shelton Benjamin will take on Azumi. Thunder Rosa will take on Hiroshi Tanahashi. Scorpio Sky will take on Momo Watanabe. Scorpio Sky was one of the in-game randos. Jamie Noble takes on Red Velvet. Jerry Flynn takes on Trent. Trent was one of the in-game randos. Randy Savage will take on Big Rick. And our final match, Grand Metalik will take on Maki Ito. Maki Ito was also an in-game rando, however, she has already been in, so I truly stuck with it. The rando was the rando, but 3 debuting people with Trent, Scorpio Sky, and Rick Steiner. And there's our brackets, and I think there's some good matches. I think Randy Savage, Big Rick looks like a big one. I mean, Satoshi Kojima is currently ranked, and he's in this. Uh, so some exciting things going on in this tournament. All right, then in 1 week, we will have a world title match at ALW 34. Omos defends his title against Bryan Danielson. I've talked a lot about this match. I'm very excited for it. Hopefully you are too. Now let's get into this week's action. Of course, we have to start with the rankings. I'll just highlight the changes here. Ray Phoenix moves up 2 slots after beating Bad Luck Fale. Satoshi Kojima slides up because of it. Rosemary gets ranked thanks to beating Randy Savage. Bad Luck Fale falls 4 spots because of his loss. Jamie Noble just gets pushed down through, displacement, and Randy Savage falls off the list. So we could have had 3 ranked people. Jamie Noble and Satoshi Kojima are in the Manager Invitational, as is Randy Savage, but he is no longer ranked. So, all right, let's get into the card for this week. We're going to open things up with a wrestling match with 2 randos. Again, same as before, that big pool of like 900 some wrestlers going to rando it, and whoever the 2 come up as, they will wrestle. Solo Darling is going to take on R-Truth in a wrestling match. For 1 deathmatch token, Grand Metalik will take on Pitbull number 2. If you'll remember, Grand Metalik made a Cinderella run through the clusterfuck tournament. He was a 7 seed, 7 out of 8. He had a bunch of matches. He faced the number 1 seed, the number 4 seed. He beat them all, and then he kind of got crushed by Sid Vicious. But, let's remember the good parts, the fun parts. And then Pitbull number 2, he fought CM Punk. And the winner of that was going to challenge Sid Vicious. CM Punk ended up winning that. He also lost to Sid Vicious. But these men have been, in the contenders sphere for the deathmatch title, and they're looking to get back up there. Similarly, Axel Rotten and Danny Havoc, 2 real life deathmatch guys going at it. Let's see if they're propensity for violence carries through to the game with one deathmatch token on the line. Then we have a Battle Royale qualifier. Penta El Cerro Miedo at 4-2 will take on Taz at 3-3. Taz has not been around for a minute. Penta actually kind of, even though a good record, kind of hasn't been around for a little bit. So these two are going at it. The winner will take on John Cena. Uh, so that should be fun. And then Satoshi Kojima, the number 5 ranked wrestler, takes on Bret Hart, the number 9 ranked wrestler. This should be an interesting one. Satoshi Kojima, kind of that, he's always so close. And Bret Hart, who was so dominant and has, lost 2 in a row now, a little bit on a skid. So this should be very interesting to see where both competitors are at. And then in our main event for the ALW Death Match title, Sid Vicious will try to defend his title for a third time, taking on Jay Briscoe, who won, he did win the Firework Death Match. He got 3 eliminations. That gave him 3 deathmatch tokens, cashed him in right away. Uh, that was New Year's Eve, so it's been like 13 days. Hopefully his body will be recovered by then. Sid Vicious hasn't wrestled since the pay-per-view. He's been taking his sweet time to recuperate. This should be an exciting match. 2 dudes with 7 wins, the explosions and weapons, and oh boy,